On the topic of the airport, and since construction started back in 1989, it has been at the center of some sinister, some comical conspiracy theories.
Yeah, people have talked about it being built for a secret organization, the headquarters for our alien overlords, lizard people.
Even though airport officials say there's no aliens or New World Order, they love to feed into the theories and just have some fun.
We figured if we can't beat them, join them. And really, we've just used it as a way to just differentiate ourselves from other airports and to connect with our passengers better.
Yeah, nothing to see here.
No,
Well, where is all the luggage going? We had a backup on Sunday, so that's kind of,
What about the tunnels under the tunnels?
Listen, everyone talks about the Denver airport and how they're underground bases with aliens and lizard people. And let me say this before I start my story. I had zero prior knowledge of conspiracy theories about this airport. I was not, and I stress, not one of those guys who spend time on YouTube watching weird videos. I had absolutely no clue that what people speak of about this airport exists. So, with that being established, let me say this to you. I'm nothing more than a regular guy who worked for American Airlines, and that day I was traveling from Denver back home to Dallas, Texas. And I didn't go to the airport looking for anything strange. I just wanted to get home. When I was dropped off at the airport, I knew there was a chance. A chance that it was going to rain, because when you looked up at the clouds in the sky looked angry, with thunder and lightning off in the distance. But I thought, come on now, surely we're going to get this airplane up in the air before the storms roll up on us, right? You know how it is if you've ever been to an airport and you know there's a storm coming. You always hold out hope in your heart that just maybe, your plane will be that one plane that gets off that tarmac and into the air before the storm hits. That's just how it goes. Anybody who travels knows this. Well, that's the state of mind that I was in when this happened, right? Wrong. Absolutely wrong. I stood in line for the next 20 minutes to get all the way up to the front counter where the lady was and to watch the screen change saying that each and every flight was delayed. Every last one of them. I handed her my ticket and my ID to check my bag, and she tells me, "Sir, your flight will be delayed for 2 hours." Imagine the scene. I'm standing there on the 6th level at the ticket counter when this gust of wind starts to blow. So strong that the doors swing open. And after the doors swing open, all hell breaks loose outside. And we are talking about wind-driven rain. The kind of rain that you cannot walk out into. The kind of rain that stings your face. The kind of rain that goes horizontally. It doesn't fall vertically. It comes at you horizontally. Everyone is scrambling to come inside. And I'm saying to myself, damn it, all I want to do is get home. Now, here's where I made my first mistake, because the lady tells me, she says, "Sir, with this type of delay, it's probably best that you don't check your bag right now, because it could be 2 hours that lead to 3 hours that lead to 4 hours. But I tell her, no, go ahead and check my bag. Stop, pause right here, and let me say this to you. My blood pressure medicine was in that bag. And I had no reason to believe that today my blood pressure would spike whatsoever. I had taken my medicine in the morning. Everything was fine. I was stressed, but not under the type of stress that should physically hurt or harm my body. At least at that moment, I was not under that type of stress. 5 minutes later, I'm walking around and I get the urge to have to use the bathroom. Now, I'm gonna be clear with you. There's poops and then there's poops. There's a type of poo where you can hold it. Then there's the type of poo that has to come out and it leaves you brainwashed. The type of poo that makes you feel like you have slept for days. And that's the type that was pushing up on me. So now I scurry into the bathroom, past the urinals, to the stalls, hit the first door, it's locked, hit the second door, it's locked, hit the third door, it's locked, and I come up on the handicapped stall and it's wide open. Now, if you're a traveling person like me, you know that the handicapped stalls are literally toilet condominiums. You can stretch out your legs, you can stretch out your arm, you have everything that you need inside of the toilet condo. So I'm happy because I have the toilet condo. I sit down and start to do my business, take out my cell phone, and I zone out. I'm waiting for everything to start moving, and then it starts. Now, as my bowels start to move, I realize that there's someone in the stall next to me. And you know how it is. You can feel that presence in the stall. You don't have to see the person, You can feel they're there. You glance down and you see their shoes underneath. I don't know how much time passed, maybe 5 minutes, maybe 10 minutes. I know people were coming in and out of the bathroom. I know I heard the other stall doors open and close when I feel like someone is looking at me. You know that feeling, like someone is staring directly at you. And so now I'm scanning around my condo. And I look right towards the metal door where the lock is, and I swear to you, I see what looks like an eyeball peeking at me through that gap right above where the lock is. And I'm saying to myself, now who in the hell looks at someone while they're using the toilet? So now I'm going through the process. I rock to the left, grab toilet tissue, swipe, flush the toilet, rock my body back, spring forward, up to my feet, and now I'm pulling my pants up. As I'm pulling my pants up, I hear this slapping sound, like someone is slapping their hand on the partition right to my left. And they didn't slap just once. They slapped over and over and over and over again. So much so hard that the partition itself starts to shake. And so now, I ain't gonna lie to you, I'm starting to freak out a little bit. And I'm saying to myself, okay, this is some straight up, I don't know who does this, but I'm not playing these kind of games. Now I have my belt tightened around my waist. I flick the lock and ram my shoulder into the door. When my shoulder hits that door, it hits whoever's on the other side of that door, and I hear them stumbling and falling. So now I'm scurrying back to my left towards the urinals, and when I turn to look over my shoulder, there is a man laying on the ground. And for right now, there is a man laying on the ground, and we'll call him a man, but what I saw couldn't have been a man. And when I start to really look at his face, his skin is now shifted and twisted like it's some kind of mask. I mean, the flesh where the nose is over to the left-hand side by the cheek. And where the right eye should be is down below the eye on the cheek. I'm standing there looking at this, saying to myself, what in the is going on, when the other stall door swings wide open and this man comes out and looks at me. And I promise you, I'm not lying. He has serpent eyes. I'm talking about alligator eyeballs looking at me. He looks at me, looks at the guy on the ground, looks at me, looks at the guy on the ground, looks at me, and I don't know why I said this to him. And honestly, I don't know why I even said this to them, because I'm not a tough guy. I'm not a fighter. No part of my body is prepared to fight anyone or anything. But I remember saying, come on, you want to get some? Come on. Putting my hands up. They look at each other and then look at me. Simultaneously, while all this is going down, his father and his son come strolling into the bathroom. The father looks around and sees the situation, looks at me, looks at them, looks at his son and says, son, we're going to go ahead and go to another restroom. And I remember his son saying, why, Daddy, why? I have to pee. I really have to pee. Son, come on. We're getting the hell out of this bathroom. I remember him pulling his son by his arm and yanking him out of the bathroom, looking over at them, and then looking back at those two men, and the other man is standing up, and now he is straightening the freaking skin on his face. And as that skin is moving and shifting back over from the left side to the right side, I start to see what looks like green flesh under that skin, and I turn and haul ass up out of there. Now remember what I told you about my blood pressure medicine and my blood pressure. As I'm coming out of that bathroom, I realize that my heart is beating profusely. I'm talking about, I feel like I'm going to have a heart attack. So now I'm scurrying over to the news counter to buy some aspirin. I buy the aspirin, stuff it down my throat, no water, no nothing, look back towards the bathroom, and enough time to see these two come moseying out of there. No luggage, no nothing, just two men come walking out of the bathroom. They walk directly by the newsstand, staring at me, and both of their eyes switch from being normal-looking human eyes to live. I'm going to say this to you. At that point in time, I personally thought I was losing my mind. And had it not been for the young lady behind the counter seeing this, saying, what the f is that? I would have thought that I had lost my damn. She sees it. I see it. We look at each other. She takes a leaping step back, which they continue to walk straight out of the door of the airport and into the wind-driven rain, make a right turn. I follow them as they walk into the rain, down the ramp, and disappear into the storm. When I tell you that me and this young lady are standing there in shock, she looks at me and says, what kind of was that? I've seen a lot of crazy stuff since I've worked here, but I ain't never seen no like that.